and welcome to That's Real Speaks. Today is Wednesday, May 19th? 18th. And this is episode 172. How are you? I'm feeling, am I off center? Hi, I'm Amy Beth, also known as the Fat Squirrel on Ravelry and the Fat SQRL on Instagram. I apologize if I'm a little bit more today than normal. It is black locust season in Indiana, and there's like a 20-minute window each day where I'm neither high on medication for the allergies and congestion. So like there's 20 minutes where I'm not either high or like my head doesn't feel like a cement mixer. So I'm in the window. Let's hope I can make it through. It's ridiculous. Or it's been crazy cold too and rainy. You would think somehow that would no. Still allergy-tastic. Although I will be honest with you, I don't know, are you like this? When I felt the allergies coming on, they manifested in this weird way where I felt like I was getting an upper respiratory infection. And so that was like a total bummer. And I was just like, no, I don't want to be sick. But somehow when I realized it was just my allergies, I was like, oh, okay. Like, really, end result is almost the same. It's either an outside bug coming to get me or my inside immune system going wackadoodle for no good reason. It's just pollen inside bugs. Little things in there. It's just pollen. Settle down, immune system. Either way, the results are the same, and yet I was relieved that I wasn't sick. I may have taken like a gajillion grams of vitamin D just in case. Whatever. So this week's episode will contain shenanigans. It will also contain lots of stuff. But day late, but I am not $1 short, people. That's all I'm saying. I'm wearing a bra. Watch out. Okay, so it'll contain shenanigans. It'll contain from the boards, which is the new segment about like what you said. I like it. Do you like it? I think it's fun. There will be spinning and knitting. There'll be shameless self-promotion, and then there will be from the library, in which I talk about a book I got from the library that I would not buy, but was definitely a good library checkout. So stay around for that. Let's get right into it. Shenanigans! There were shenanigans. The shenanigans were not exciting for some people, but they were very exciting for me, because guess what, people? I have a farmer's market. I say I because it's within walking distance of my house. That's right. We went out on Saturday. Was it the Saturday before Mother's Day? I guess it was. To do an errand. Yes, it was. And there was a sign where I turned left to do the errand. There was a sign that said farmer's market with an arrow. And I was like, what? What? So we around and we found the farmer's market, and it's totally within walking distance of my house. Okay, so initially I was very excited about being able to walk to get real eggs. Amazing. And there's real bread there too. Awesome. There's lots of other things too. Of course, it's early in the season, so we gotta wait and see what else comes veg-wise. Oh, sorry. Oh, pollen. But so I was super excited. But then, like, the practical part of me was just looking around, and like I just saw this vast sea of like hipsters. My hair is like really awful, sorry. This vast sea of like hipsters and like upwardly mobily type people, and all I could think was like, my property values are going to go up. Isn't that the worst? I'm so selfish. I mean, it really was very excited. In fact, I think I scared the egg lady because she was like, how are you? And I was like, I'm so excited. And I think she was like, whoa. Like, that park that they're in is a little bit of a methy park. Not bad. Just, in the morning, sometimes when you're walking to the park, you get a little, hey, meth lady, all that. So she's probably like, whoa, I thought they cleared these people out of here already. And this one's a little chubby for a meth head. But I was just so excited. But then I really did. I was like looking at the hipsters and I was just like, because now my house is on a, like if you drew a line between the farmer's market and the artisanal donut store. Did you hear those words? If you drew a line between the farmer's market and the artisanal donut store, my house is like got to be exactly on that line. So that means something, right? That's like a 10% increase in property value, right? That's what happens. I'm so holding out for gentrification. Come on, there's some like cute 20s bungalows. I mean, they're a little bit falling down, but you can buy one for like $25,000. What? There's not even a hole in it. There's actually a house that's like down at the end of my street that's on the market for like $32,000. And like I watch the shows about the people building the tiny houses, and the tiny house, it only costs $28,000. I'm like, you can have an actual house that the wind will not blow away, most likely. I looked at it, there's no holes in it. You could live down the street from me. That might be a deterrent, but you know what I mean. They don't know that. So come on. Fixer-upper up in y'all. So anyway, that's my shenanigans. Oh, and then more shenanigans. We went to another farmer's market. What? My mom came into town because they wanted to go to, up in Zionsville, there's this thing called the Brick Street Festival or something like that. And my mom wanted to go to that. So my parents came into town and did that. And so we went with them in the morning because that was fun. So we went to like a little artsy craftsy fair. It was freezing cold. Okay, really, it wasn't. I was totally fine because, hi, insulation. But it was chilly, you know, especially since we're all thinking, like it's been 80 degrees like for once during this year so far. And so now we all think it's gonna be 80 degrees forever. You know how it is, right? But I was a bad mom and yelled at my kid because she just kept saying over and over again how cold she was. I was like, dude. It's like telling me you're 9 over and over again. It doesn't change anything. So I totally had a mom freak out. I was just like, da da da! Let me enjoy this pleasant experience! Like that. Whatever, I'm a human. But we got to see Joanna Spring and Saw Wet Farms. What? We totally did. We got to buy... Oh, wait, I bought bread, of course, from Bill, because hello, bread. Hi. And then I also bought a Savoy cabbage, which was so gorgeous. It was clearly blessed by all of the lambs before it left the farm because it was magic. And like, it was so wonderful. Like every little, if you don't know what a Savoy cabbage is, look it up right now. You can see how there's like all of these little crinkles in the, it was like each one of those was holding the magic dew of the Joanna Spring farm. They were each placed there by the lambs in the morning before the farmer's market. And really that cabbage probably should have cost at least $9,000, but luckily it wasn't. Sorry, I had to buy it. And then I was like, what am I doing with this cabbage? I'm not a cabbage person at all, but it was so gorgeous that I knew it would be delicious. And let me just discuss, it totally was. I had a huge debate whether to make a salad with it or whether to do the Ina Garden. Sorry, really my hair is just out of control. I don't know what's going on. Or to do the Ina Garden, which is just like saute it in butter. So I did that because it was cold. That was amazing. I definitely didn't eat a whole head of cabbage each day for 2 days in a row. Because nobody else in my family could eat that cabbage. It was delicious. Yay, farmers markets. But I have to show you this too, even though this is totally crazy and off topic, because hi, welcome to the show. I have wanted one of these things forever. I don't know if I've ever told you the secret about myself. I cannot have a flower garden because whatever, I'm not very good at that. And actually I can't even do the thing I want to do because we do live in a sketchy neighborhood and things will get stolen. But I secretly want to have like a crazy metal flower garden or just have like a whole front garden full of like crazily painted metal flowers and sculptures. Again, that's probably not gonna happen anytime soon, but I've wanted one of these forever. Have you seen these before? It's really not translating as well on the internets. But it's it's like they take the old glass like candy dishes and pitchers, and this one has a candlestick holder in the middle, and some of them are just like plates, and they glue them together and make a flower, and then and then you just have like a piece of rebar that you stick it on in your garden. What? It looks a little spider webby there, but it doesn't in real life. I like it. Anyway, I wanted one forever. I finally got one. I'm so excited. Oh! Yes. Clearly when I've looked at them before, they were actually, this was very reasonable. They were very pricey, and I kept doing that thing that all crafters do. By the way, don't ever say this out loud. I was at a craft market with people who kept saying that they could make the thing out loud, and I'm like, don't say it out loud. You're allowed to think it, but don't say it out loud. But in my head, I was like, I should just go to Goodwill and get a bunch of like crazy candy dishes and glue them together in my own garden. But have I ever done it? No, because I hate to go to Goodwill. I know it's bad. I'm terrible. But look at this exciting. So I haven't put it in my garden yet. I'm trying to wait till the threat of hail is like slightly diminished. We've had 2 frost warnings in May. My plants are strong and they have weathered the storm. It hasn't actually frosted. There's just been a warning. But come on! Crazy leaves. Okay, so I think that's all the shenanigans. Yeah, totally. Okay, so from the boards. And I don't know how to say this, but I think it's always knit. It's ALWS knit. She says, look, and if you're new, or if you missed last week's episode, no pressure, that's totally cool. What I'm going to start trying to do is like just bring highlights from the boards, because I know not everybody has time to get on Ravelry and look at all the boards for all the podcasts you watch it. And so like, I'm just going to try to meta them up for you. Does that work? I think it's a good thing. Anyway, she asked where I got my needles, because last week I reviewed the Chalgu, the mini interchangeables. I got them from my local yarn store, which is Mass Avenue Knits, and they don't do an online thing. And I did look online. There are a couple of places that have them, but I would definitely check your local yarn store first, because that's a great profit for them. Try to support them in that way. But there are other places online that are selling them. Okay, so there's that. And then, oh my gosh, this one you actually have to go read. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So the Jasper patch totally wrote an awesome, and not to overuse the word epic, but it's epic for a Ravelry board story, information about how she decided, in the spirit of like the $64 tomato, in which you really calculate the prices you're spending on these like hobby things. Anyway, you have to go read it, because she has a story about her $33, was it a teaspoon of maple syrup? Maple toffee. It was toffee, because it ended up being toffee. Read the story. So thank you to Jasper Patch. That was awesome. You should all go read it. It was very exciting. And then Carbo 13. Oh, did she sell seashells? Maybe she did. Oh my goodness. Last week I talked about the Passyunk Square. And so she told us that Erica Flory is doing Shawl May, Nia. And so for the whole month of May, all of her single shawl patterns are 50% off. So there you go. Erica Flory, 50% off all of her single shawl patterns for the month of May. FYI. Anyway, so there's that information. Thank you, Carbo 13. Yeah. And then So Run It also asked, I have been soliciting, that sounds so scandalous of me, but I have been soliciting micro funding for the podcast. And so what I would love is if you are interested in funding the podcast at all, if you'd like to keep it around and keep it commercial free, you can set up a $1 donation every other month, or you can set up I think you can set up a 50-cent recurring donation. Some people have set up a $1 recurring donation, but then that happens every month. And so you are spending $1 a month on the podcast. So if you set it up for 50 cents, I don't know if you can, but if you can set it up for just 50 cents a month, I will know that your 50 cents a month is going to happen twice, and you can be entered into a prize. But anyway, so microfunding for the podcast is happening. You can donate on the website at thefatsquirrel.com. There's a donate now if you're looking on a PC or Mac, like a real screen computer. Or if you're on a tablet or a small device, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a yellow donate now button. That's super helpful. But so Reddit just asked if she donates that way, like, how will I know her Ravelry name? Well, I won't, unless you tell me. There's usually a way you can set up a comment or something like that, because I certainly have gotten several, which is awesome. Thank you. But even if you don't, I will just read your human name. I hope that's okay with everybody. Maybe I'll use like your human name and the first letter of your last name. I think I'll just use your human name. I think that's okay with everybody. If it's not, please tell me. But so thanks for the board's comments. Thank you. Cha-cha. Okay, so then what else? Okay, let's get into knitting and spinning. Shut up. Let's do it. Because a segue. That was not as smooth a segue as I had really worked it out to be. And I actually did work it out. I'm not going to lie to you. Segue. Spinning. I don't have any finished spinning, but look at what I'm spinning, people. What the crud. Have you seen these yet? This is from the awesome people at Nunoko, which I always feel like I'm saying wrong, but it's Nunoco. Etsy.com, and they're offering these things that are called multiply, and it's 3 different coordinating battings, or blended top, whatever, 3 50-gram blended tops, and this one is nymph, patchouli, and nightshade. You can't see it. I'm crinkling. I know. I'm sorry, but I kind of am, but not enough to not make it happen. That's what I'm saying. I'm just going to make it extra crinkly, apparently. So you get 50 grams, and so what you can do is you have all these options, right? You could spin each 50-gram hunk and then 3-ply them, which would be amazing. What I am going to do is, you could do 3 different yarns. So you could do, spin each 50 grams and either do it like 2-ply or chain ply, whatever works for you, and then work them together into a shawl. What I am going to do is I split each segment. So here are the segments. There really is that much sparkle in there. I'm not lying. The camera does not add 5 ounces of sparkle. It's all in there. What I'm going to do, as you can see, I split each blended top in half, and I am going to do a gradient 2-ply. A gradient. You know what I mean? Like a cool 2-ply. Right. So they won't match up perfectly, but they'll have a nice blend to them. And this is for you. Yes, it's for you. This was the segue. I was talking about microfunding, and this will be the second prize because the response has been overwhelming. Thank you so much. Really helps out people. Okay. So I'm going to try. I feel like I can confidently get this done by the first podcast of June or shortly thereafter, but I'm hoping for the first podcast of June. And then I'll send that out to another winner. And the donation. Ah! How exciting! So anyway, they're super fun. I've only spun 100 grams. I'm not completely done with 100 grams. That's a lie. There's only 150 grams. Anyway, so I'm almost done with 50 grams. But aren't they exciting? And then I'll show you this one too, because I got this one too. Just to give you an idea. This one is Antiquity. I'm not sure what that word is. Blyon? Bedion? I'm not sure. And Mock Turtle. Bayou. Maybe Bayou? Yeah, I think it's Bayou. It was not that I don't know what that word is. I couldn't read the writing. Which is very cute, by the way. But anyway, look at that one. So you should go check them out. This is, by the way, not a paying sponsorship. I just found them and really like them. They have several more. They may have a blue one that they did not have when I ordered this one's. And even though they're a UK company, their shipping to the United States is very reasonable. And international shipping is ridiculous right now. Anyway, coming out of the United States, it's bongo. Trust me, I'm not making any money off of it. If you see my prices, you're like, what? That's literally the cost of shipping. So their shipping is actually quite reasonable, and it got here in a relatively speedy fashion. And look at it, it's like magic. I'm not saying, I mean, they are from the land of Merlin. Maybe this is from the Lake of Avalon. I'm not sure. Look at it. I may be watching too much Time Team. Okay, so let me get my breath again. Jesus, ridiculous. Okay, so knitting. Oh my gosh, I have a when knitting attacks, a la the Gilmore Girls. When knitting attacks. Okay, my sweet little mamaw that I love to make socks for sent me the sock that I made her for repair, but it's never been worn. And I, for the life of me, cannot figure out what happened to it. Like, I literally can't figure it out. See this? It's in the gusset. It's like the pickup stitches from the gusset are on the side. Like, you can see them still there. But there's no ends. So normally what I think is like something got clipped, or like there was a weak spot in the yarn, something crazy happened, and like then it just came, it like ripped out that whole row somehow, which even then, without wearing it, how would that even happen? Whatever, I don't know. But there are no ends. There's no cut ends anywhere. So you'd think, okay, maybe she dropped, maybe no? Because I was like, well, maybe the drop stitch is from the heel flap. But then how would the picked up stitches still be there? Maybe that's what happened. Anyway, maybe that is what happened. It just occurred to me. Could that happen? I mean, clearly it could happen. Like I could drop the last heel flap stitch and it could rip down. What are you doing, Olive? This dog is like super needy. What are you doing, baby? Come here. Did you just get up there and not know how to get down? Anyway, so maybe that's what happened. I've been looking at it for like 3 days being like, how did this even happen? Because again, there's no ends. And yet it's not like the stitch is running down this way. Like I dropped a gusset stitch or something. That must be what it is. I dropped that heel flap stitch. Now that makes more sense. But what I'm going to do is just pick these up, like zip them up, and then I'm going to Kitchener it with picked up stitches on the flap, and that should work. But right, I'm glad that you were with me as I had this epiphany. That has to be what it is, right, Olive? Right? There's no ends. It's a mystery. Anyway, knitting attacks. Right. This dog. Anyway. Okay, get down. Now let's get on to actual knitting that did not attack. Okay, first finished object, because there are multiples. I'm very fancy this week. Right. Finished my hat. It's made from Handspun by Joanna Spring. She has an Etsy shop, not selling headspun, but selling other awesome stuff. What? Right. It's my new camping hat. I'm so excited. It's made of magical things and it matches fire. Yay. So there's not really a pattern. You just do a provisional cast on. I use the crochet one. You knit until your brim is as thick as you'd like it to be in the round. And then you purl a row so it'll easily fold. And then you knit again until you're about that way. And then you knit two together, like a 3-needle bind off, but you're not binding off. You just knit the rest till you like it, and then you close it up. Yeah. Do some decreases. Yeah. Do the things. Okay. Okay. If you're not sure how that would happen, you're a newer knitter, or you've just not made a lot of hats, get on the ball, people. You can look at the pattern called Excess, and it's very similar, except I don't have a garter stitch chunk. Okay. Okay, I'm sure there's other patterns that might be free out there that also have that information. Okay, there's that. Then, this is a little epic. I've had these socks on the needles since Rhinebeck. That's in October, people. It's now May. I finally finished them. In my defense, I did get like almost through I'm a size 11 and I got fat feet. So like it's the size 11 and 72 stitches. That's a lot of stitches. Okay, that's like the man sock size. It's not really in my defense. Also, words I say. I did get almost, I think I got actually to the heel on one of them and then ripped it all back because my gauge was just too loose. So I actually knit these on 000s. Technically, it doesn't take any longer because my gauge is still the same, but 000s are tiny, tiny, tiny to hold. So, and they love to go under your fingernail on your index finger and poke you and make you make sounds of cursiness. Right, but they are pretty awesome. Check those out. This is Simply Sock Yarn, Post Yarn, and I apologize, I no longer know what the colorway is. But it was one of their Halloween ones. So it's not Elm Street, it's a different one. But yay, I finished them and they are really rather beautiful. Now you might notice that the sock is a little bit nipplier than normal. The heel, excuse me. That is because I did make the, this is Laura Lindeman's Afterthought heel. And typically you knit, it's a free pattern, typically you knit 5 rows solid before you start doing the decreases after you pick up the heel stitches. I did more than 5. I want to say like 8 or something, maybe 9, because I knew that, well, I just needed a little extra length. I had not, because clearly in the 7 months it took me to make these, I also decided to not make them long enough. Actually, one of the reasons I've just started making my socks a tad bit longer. It just gives me a little bit extra flexibility if there is a slight bit of, I don't even want to call it shrinkage, but just like oomping after you wash them a couple times. So it just gives me a little bit more flexibility with that. So I've started making my socks just a tad bit longer. And when I had started these 800 years ago, I wasn't doing that yet. So that's why I made a few extra rounds. It makes the foot a little bit longer. Also, it makes the gusset deeper if you've got the thick kinkle like I do. Yarp. It makes that gusset deeper because you can see if you're adding stitches right there, you're making this come out longer. So if you have trouble with that, you can add some. It will add length, so you can either A, not make your foot as long, or B, just be like, it's going to shrink a little bit anyway. Where are they though? But I finished those. They are really attractive, aren't they? Sure, of course they are. So vibrant. These lovely ladies at Simply Sock Yarn. And then I have one more finished object. Right. By the way, if you can kind of see my shirt but kind of not, it's probably driving you crazy. Time to settle this. I might have a Settlers of Catan t-shirt. Oh my gosh, I have 2 more finished objects. Shut up. I finished Annie's sweater. So this is Annie's brioche dog sweater. Because I'm flaunting that woman. Camping sweater. I decided this week that also everybody needs camping hats, so I'm working on that. You'll see those in a minute. But Annie needed a new camping sweater, so she got one, baby. This is a brioche camping dog sweater. That's right. I did all the increases on the top here. You would normally make them, see, this is the arms. So this would be like Annie's head, and this would be her legs, right here. Annie is not as interested in being on camera as Olive is, so I won't make her do that. Also, she's sleeping right now. So normally, this is the Custom Fit Dog Sweater by, the Perfect Fit Dog Sweater by Jessica Lane. Normally, you would do the increases here, but since the brioche ones are decorative, I put them on the top, and I also put them on the top for the decreases for the body. But really, I did it just like the pattern said, except I did it in brioche. And then, of course, the leg holes I just did in the single. I did not do the brioche on those because, come on, I'm crazy. I'm not that crazy. But anyway, it's super cute and super squishy. This is hand spun from Three Waters Farm. And then the white or the cream or the oatmeal. Oatmeal is the best description, I think. Is who are those people I like so much in Montana? I can almost hear you. Could you just shout a little bit louder? Beaver Slide Dry Goods. Thanks. You were such a helpful thing. So that's from Beaver Slide Dry Goods. So yay them. Or maybe it's from Bartlett Yarns. No, it was from Beaver. It was from Beaver Slide. Their yarn is very similar in textures. I think it was from Beaver Slide though. Anyway, so yay that. Just plain ribbing on the, see? It like tucks over. Right. So there's that. And then the last finished object. I was cranking it out this week. Look at me. So fancy. Did we eat this week? We did. Did we only eat hamburger helper? No, we ate some other things. I finished my salmon shawl. So this is the salmon by Mr. Stephen West. And it was inspired by the beautiful wool pierogi, who has an online store where she sells bats and awesome things. Becca. And so this, okay, now I don't know if I can do the color lineup because, oh, I'll do it this way. This may or may not be correct, but I think it's correct. I'll have to do this, use this as reference though. Mine is the lace weight. It's written for both lace weight and fingering weight. You hold them doubled, okay? So my color A is, and this is all Knit Picks Alpaca Cloud. My color A is Wonderland Heather. My color B, I hope this is right, is Eleanor. That's what I have written down. My color C, I don't think this is right, is Lucille. Wait, no, I think I've got it completely wrong. Oh, wait. Because actually the blue is color E. Okay, strike all of that information. That can't be right either. I don't know what colors they are, but I used these colors. I used Wonderland Heather, Lucille, Eleanor, Stella, and Oliver. Those are the colors I used. They're also on the show notes if you're interested. I no longer know which one's which, but you can obviously tell that when you look at the Knit Picks website. It's these colors. And these, I bought 50-gram balls of all of these, and this is what I have remaining. So I actually have a healthy amount of each color, pretty much, except for the olive and the dark gray. For some reason, I thought I needed 2 colors of, I have an extra skein of the light blue, but whatever. So you're transitioning, you're holding this double throughout. Okay, sorry about that edit, there was dog barking. So you hold the colors double throughout, and you're obviously transitioning. Like this is the light blue and the light gray, and then you move on to the light gray and the yellow, and then the yellow and the green, etc., etc. But isn't it lovely? It's very lovely. It's alternating garter stitch, and then short row stockinette with eyelettiness. So it's asymmetrical, of course, as you can see. It's definitely like a scarfy wear, I think. Right? You'd think it was ready for February, or maybe May in Indiana. It's ridiculous. So anyway, yay that! Now let's do works in progress. I have some of those too. Oh my gosh, this episode's gonna be a million years long. But I want to show you them. So I told you I decided everybody needed a camping hat. So everybody needed a camping hat. We're going camping for Memorial Day. Hopefully. Lord. Oops, actually this is inside out. So this is the Wasabi by Meg Myers. It's a free pattern, and I'm knitting mine with Moon Rover Wild in the Penrose colorway. Can you focus, camera? Would you do that? Would that be cool? Kinda, maybe. Wild is 100% superwash merino. And it looks kind of like this in the ball. So there's that. I'm knitting this. I knit the, it looks so tiny, but I mean, my child does have like a human sized head. She does not have a small child's head. I just have a giant head, so if it's more confusing. But even so, she does not like a slouchy hat, so this will be a close fitting one. I am knitting it inside out because, as you can see, it's a bunch of reverse stockinette, and I don't have time for that noise. So I am knitting it like it's a stockinette, and then with the purl little panel in there, or rib. Yep. So there's that. Also, I did the brim on 0s, and I'm knitting the body on 1.5s, I think, which is size 2.5 millimeters, and these are my ChowGoo mini interchangeables, and I'm still enjoying them quite a bit. There's that. And then my husband's hat is the Wuppertal. Wuppertal? W-U-P-P-E-R-T-A-L. The Wuppertal by Sockmatician, who has a podcast. He also, so sorry, that's so much more breathing normal. I mean, normally there's breathing because I'm a mouth breather, but boy, apologies. Oh, the Sockmatician, who also has a like a one-pass brioche, one-pass two-color brioche YouTube video, which you should check out if you're trying to do brioche. Well, maybe not if you're trying to do brioche for the first time, but if you've done brioche and you would like to experiment with just doing it as a one pass, he has a very good video about how to do that. I have not done it yet, but I did look at the video. And he has a podcast. Did I say that? Wait. He also has this pattern, which is free. Yay him. My husband does not like a hat to touch his ears. So this pattern has got some 2x2 ribbing, and then it's got a fun little cable-y bit for one of the 4 panels of decreases. It has like the square decrease pattern. It does not show up as well in the hand spun, of course, but I still like the texture that it gave. This is hand spun. This is a superwash BFL nylon that I spun. It's a 3-ply, and it was dyed by, what I was trying to get to. It was dyed by Dana of Unwind. I'm not the best 3-ply knitter. This pattern is written for DK, so this yarn that I have is probably a lighter DK, but maybe right on. I don't know, we'll see. But because it's ribbed, of course, you have a little bit of extra flexibility. Ha-ha. So it's going so well. I've already started the decreases. If this actually fits, which I tried it on him and it looks like it might, I think this will literally be the first hat I've ever made for him that I didn't have to re-knit at some point. He has a very tight tolerance for hats. A very narrow quality control window. It's a little annoying. Just saying. So yay that. I might have like a whole bunch more of this yarn. Oh, but so I was going to say, I'm not that great at doing 3-plies and trying to make them thinner. They totally get ropey on me. I just need to do it more, right? I need to do as many of those as I do DKs, and then I'll be as good at them as DKs. Or maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. So that's everybody's hats. And I have one more thing to show you that's in progress that I started this week. And it is the Agleam shawl. A-G-L-E-A-M. And it is by Lisa Much. And I started knitting this because I'm pretty confident it was knit for beer. Pretty confident it was you, lady. But I have another camper that I might have gotten you confused with, but I don't think so. I think it was you. She posted a finished one that she had in, was it like Funny Pants or Funny Papers? It was, Miss Babs, like a really wild colorway. And it looked awesome. The pattern is written for DK. And so I'm using Miss Babs Yowza, which is a light fingering, which is essentially equivalent to a DK. It's a 8-ounce skein that gives you 560 yards. This is the Believable colorway. But it says it alternates garter stitch with drop stitch rows. And between the drop stitch rows, there are garter stitch panels of short rows. That's a lot of words. Mine is not going to tell you exactly what it looks like because it's all on a shorter needle. But it looks really good. And it looks great in crazy Miss Babs colorways. So I may have had to, I didn't even have any Miss Babs Jowls because every time I look at it, I'm like, what am I going to do with that? It's amazing, but what am I going to do with it? This is what you're going to do with it. It's super cute. Now I feel like I have to find you hers because it was so much prettier. Not that, I mean, I think this is totally going to be pretty. It's just that hers was like blocked and laid out. And so you could really see the unique shape of it and how the colors looked very fun in it. So anyway, I think it required, oh, I don't have it handy. I did not print the pattern because it's like, it's a very easy pattern in terms of it's very intuitive. And like, again, there's only basically 2 things that are going on at any, you know, at any time. What am I doing? Oh, that's what I'm doing. I'm so confused by life. So it's a very easy pattern, but the pattern is like 8 pages long because it has 100 pictures of it. It's pretty crazy. Ooh, see, look, I was right. It's Dip for Beer. Yay, me. Can you kind of see it a little bit? All right, focus, camera. Do your focusing. Right. And of course it's washing out because of the green being bright. But it totally works in those crazy colors. Oh, and it wasn't even blocked. See? That's what, oh, it's Perfectly Reckless. That makes sense because that is a crazy colorway. It looks so good. So it's a fun crescent shape. Yay! What am I doing different? The only thing I'm not doing, or the only thing I'm doing different is she uses left and right leaning make ones. I'm just doing it in front back because it's garter stitch. Okay? Okay. That's all I'm doing different. Because I'm lazy. But anyway, it's very fun. And because it's DK, it's super fast. And because it's Miss Babs, it's like extra squishy. This is a Superwash Merino, by the way. I think it's Merino. Whatever. That's what it looks like, the ball. It's super fun. I actually have had to like put it down and be like, no, 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 no. Save it. This is very fun. It's so squishy. And I'm not going to lie to you. When I got my Miss Babs skein in the mail, maybe I got 2. Just saying. Don't judge me. Back off. And it's all like in its skein, and it's so deliciously and firmly obese. And it's like so compact and full of wool. Oh man, how do you not buy a million of those? I mean, right? They're just, oh, you just gotta do that to it a lot. I may have problems, but I'm not the only one. Okay, so that's all for knitting and spinning. Now we're going to talk about a shameless self-promotion and the library. So quickly, shameless self-promotion. There will be a shop update May 20th. It's gonna have these. These are like the faux broidery, the faux cruel. That's cruel to be kind. Gosh, that's what I should name it. It'll have the sweater size, which is here right here. And the large wedge size. If you pre-ordered a Gigantor Aran sweater size, they've already gone out. You should get them soon. So yay those. And it is a cotton linen slub, so it's a little bit, it's not as rigid as some of the decorator weight fabrics, but it has a really nice hand. It's very appealing to touch. And come on, faux crewel work. Right? Who doesn't love that? I do. Okay, trust the library. So let me tell you what I checked out from the library audiobook wise in the last 2 weeks that I enjoyed. Okay? Okay. I enjoyed The Nest by Kenneth Opel. These are both YA titles. I'm not really a huge YA fan. I mean, I appreciate that there's been a lot of YA dystopia, and I do love dystopia. Man, I love dystopia. But I kind of like read the YA dystopia because there's just not enough other dystopia, or at least there hasn't been until relatively recently. Now there's been like a bit of a rush on the genre, but you know what I mean. But most of it's been YA. What's up with that? So anyway, oh, so I'm like kind of leery of the YA Not that I don't love an easy read, because not that Hazel, but you know what I mean. As I love a Kokosi mystery. Okay, it's not me judging. I'm not, my horse is not high. It's very low. It might be a little high, but it's not high up. But the medication might be kicking in right now. But anyway, but these are both YA, and I enjoyed them both quite a bit. The first one is called The Nest by Kenneth Opel. And it is, I would say it's probably, I think it was only like 4 hours long or something like that. I would say, so it's probably more like a novella, but it was very good. It was like suspenseful and fun. Family drama, but not really, but a little bit, but also strange and fun. Anyway, that was very good. And then I also listened to Nooks and Crannies by Jessica Lawson. And that's your, I don't want to say typical because that sounds dismissive, but that's your like orphans, haunted house, maybe being adopted by their wealthy person. It's that. It's very fun. So again, The Nest by Kenneth Opel and Nooks and Crannies by Jessica Lawson. I know those are like the worst reviews ever, but there's a million reviews. What am I going to say that hasn't already been said before on like the Amazon webpage? But I do recommend them. I would not have bought them, but they were fun to listen to for free from the library. Yay, libraries! And actually, The Nest was really, that was good. That was good. That's all I'm saying. Don't judge. Judge. I don't care. Shh. Olive. Settle. The next one I got from the library is called Knitless, 50 No-Knit Stash-Busting Yarn Projects by Laura McFadden. What? I just read the back. And it like tells you like some of the projects that are in them. One of them is called A Sophisticated Tribal Tassel Necklace. Okay, so what I was going to say about this book is definitely a library book. Check it out. You may want to buy it. That's great, but I would look at it from a library first. The accessories projects, one of them is definitely called Sophisticated Tribal Tassel Necklace. It's definitely called that. There may be several that could be like A and B and C. Okay, but that's not to say that these are not some fun things in here. There's not some fun ideas. And most of them are quite doable in an afternoon. These were super cute, I thought, right? Now, there was a time when you get CEDs from AOL in your mailbox like every other day. These are a CD and felt with string art around them. That doesn't happen anymore, so you may not, but I'm sure you've got an old CD somewhere. Data CDs, people. Youngins. Used to get those in the mail all the time. Pinterest would have been filled, would have been clogged with CD mobiles and these things 10 years ago. Maybe 12. Oh my gosh, we're getting old. Anyway, moving on. There's also this one which I really like. This is a paracord rug. So it's using like a wrap technique. Now, I'm never going to make this because I feel like it would be tedious. But I do really like the way it looks. It's so fun. And then, and again, this is not to say that these are all the projects in here that are good. But for example, in the accessories section, there's like this strange plasticky, like, what is that? Come on. But it would be fun for kids to do. This is ridiculous, but I love it anyway. Pom-pom covered slippers, people. What? There's also a pom-pom upholstered chair, which is, let's face it, amazing. And we all kind of secretly want to have in our house. This is the very beginning. I'll show you real quick. Who doesn't want a pom-pom upholstered chair? I want one. Look at it. It's totally impractical, but amazing. Anyway, so you could also pop-up slippers. And then the last one I'll show you is this. I really actually feel like I'm gonna make. I know, right? Momentum and stuff, but these are called yarn paintings. Such a simple idea. Why I have not thought about this. Just use a canvas and glue some yarn to it, people. But isn't it cool? I think it would work really well for your heavily textured yarns, like your bits and bobs of your like Peace Fleece and your Bartlett and your like your scratchies. Hand spun. That's secretly what I want to make. It's a hand spun yarn collage. I love it. There's another one too. Now this one is called, I'm sure I cannot read the script of this, but it's an Huichol? Maybe it's Huichol, Indian yarn painting. And so it's something similar, but you can see it's smoother yarns, and I don't think it is nearly as interesting. Not that it, I just think it looks more interesting with a thicker yarn that's got more texture to it. And this one they've done on foam board, yeah, cardboard or foam board. But I think this one is on canvas, so you could either, you know, I'll continue the art onto the edges and just hang it as is. Or if you, like there's that canvas board, I don't know what that's called, but they have it like at Michael's or whatever. And it's just like a really firm board that's got like a canvas texture on it. I don't think you have to have the canvas texture. I just think it'd be nice to kind of help, the texture would probably help hold the yarn, the glue and stuff, but I think you could use any surface. But those are firm enough, but they're thin enough that you could also put it into a frame. And I think that would be, like, you need a super gaudy gold frame, right? And I don't mean like brassy gold, like that antique gold. It's like super, like the frame would be like this thick and your painting would be like this big, like that. Don't you think that'd be awesome? So you just take the glass out of that thing, pop your glued on yarn thing in there. I think it'd be amazing. Just saying. And very affordable to do. I gotta do that so I can show you, right? That should be my motivation. I should do that so I can show you what's in my brain. Let's see if what's in my brain can actually be made real. I don't know. You know how that is, right? Okay, so I'll stop talking now. I hope you have a great week. I'll talk next time.